Do you want to sew all of the things, but you have very little free time on your hands? Today, I want to talk about how we can use the sewing time we do have to start and finish all those projects. I'm Jennifer Wiese, founder of Workroom Social and Camp Workroom Social. And at Workroom Social, we teach people how to sew clothes that fit their individual styles and their unique body shapes and sizes. In Dear Jenny, we're talking about your sewing-related thoughts and questions so that together we can discuss how to become better sewists and better people. Now, let's see what's in today's letter. Dear Jenny, I can only carve out about 15 minutes to sew after work, maybe an hour on the weekends. I want to challenge myself with larger sewing projects so I can grow my skills. But how can I ever expect to finish a project when I hardly have any free time to sew? Sincerely, a busy bee who wishes she were sewing. Well, a busy bee, thank you so much for sending in your letter, because I know there are so many sewists out there, including myself, who are in the same situation that you're in. First, I want to celebrate the fact that you are already prioritizing doing something you love, sewing. And I know 15 minutes a day might not sound like a lot of time, but I want to think about it this way. If you sew for 15 minutes a day, 4 times a week, that's an hour every week. And if you do that every week for a month, that's 4 hours every month. I think you see where I'm going with this. And if you do that every month for the whole year, that's 48 hours of sewing time throughout the year, which is plenty of time to start and finish a larger project or two. As adults, we all have responsibilities and obligations that can easily get prioritized over our hobbies, but it's still really important to take the time for yourself to do things that you love. And in honoring and fulfilling our own needs and wants, we will be better equipped to tackle that list of obligations down the line. So even if you only have 15 minutes for yourself for sewing after work, I think you should feel really good about what you have to give to yourself. And I want to remind you that situations can change. So even though you only have 15 minutes right now, it's possible that in the future you might be able to find or make more time for your hobbies. But let's focus on what we do have right now and talk about how we can maximize these little chunks of time that we can devote to our sewing hobby. Because despite what others might tell you, you don't need days of uninterrupted free time to complete larger projects. Okay, so assuming we only have small chunks of time for our sewing, let's talk about 4 practical ways that we can start and complete these larger projects and improve our sewing skills while we're doing that. Okay, so assuming we only have small chunks of time for our hobbies, let's go through 4 practical ways that we can start and finish larger projects and continue improving our skills as sewists. Number 1, get organized. Before you begin, gather all the tools and supplies that you'll need and figure out a way and a place to store them. Having everything you need stored together all in one place will help you jump in and out of your project easily. You'll also save time by knowing where everything is so you don't have to try and figure out where did I leave this or where did I leave that. I can't find the things that I need to make progress when I only have a small amount of time to work. This will also prevent you from getting stuck halfway through your project because you realize you're missing a zipper or you're missing buttons. Creating a system for storing your works in progress will also help you save time on the cleanup at the end of each sewing session. Number 2, make an action plan. Grab your sewing pattern and your sewing pattern instructions and take the time to make an action plan. Having a plan that you can follow will help keep you organized as you're working on your project in small time chunks. Sitting down to really develop this plan can also help you have a greater understanding of all the different steps and processes that you need to complete to make your garment. And it gives you the chance to think through any questions or any problems that may arise down the line so that once you get to that point, you have a clear roadmap to follow to really maximize your small chunks of sewing time. Number 3, keep accurate records. As you're working, it's really helpful to take your plan and keep records of where you are in that plan. Since we're working in these small chunks of time, keeping accurate records of what you've completed and of the current status of your project will help make the time you have to sew more efficient and, quite frankly, more fun. It's really no fun and can be really frustrating to come into a project knowing you only have 15 minutes to work on it and you can't remember where you left off or what you need to do next. So, leave a gift for your future self by keeping accurate records as you work on your projects. Number 4, stay consistent. We've all heard the old adage, slow and steady wins the race. Well, I'd like to rethink that phrase a little bit and maybe change it to slow and steady finishes the race, because I think that's what our goal is. Our goal is to finish the race. It doesn't matter if we finish it first or last. If we all prioritize a little bit of time for sewing like a busy bee does, we will all eventually finish the projects we start. And in my opinion, it really doesn't matter when we finish them. If we are taking the time to do a little bit of sewing, we are practicing and improving our skills. And to me, that's all that really matters. Sewists who are super good at using your time effectively, what advice do you have for a busy bee? How have you figured out how to maximize the time you have to sew? I can't wait to hear your tips and tricks, and I'll be checking for them in the comments. If you'd like more ideas on this topic, be sure to check out Seamwork's article, Tips to Balance Your Sewing Time. In this article, they give you different ideas of things that you can do in different durations of time. And be sure to watch a past episode of Dear Jenny called How to Find the Energy to Sew, which could be super helpful, especially if you're doing your sewing after a long day at work. If there's something sewing related that you'd love to chat about, you can send me a letter at hello@workroomsocial.com and use the subject Dear Jenny. Few of us have lots of free time to spend doing whatever we want. We all have responsibilities and obligations that we have to meet, and it's still really important to prioritize some time for ourselves to do the things that we enjoy, even if it's just a little bit of time each day or each week. So I hope you'll take a note from a busy bee and prioritize some time for yourself to sew this week. Thank you so much to Seamwork, and I can't wait to see you on the next episode of Dear Jenny. Bye for now.